Ghost became the biggest movie of 1990, beating Home Alone and Pretty Woman, and made that pottery scene one of the most iconic moments in cinema history.
Who's doing that?
But the story behind the cameras, way wilder than anything on screen. These are 20 secrets about Ghost that'll make you see it in a whole new light. Number 20. Okay, so Bruce Willis was actually offered the part of Sam Wheatfirst. The twist, he was married to Demi Moore at the time, so they could have been on screen together. A real-life Hollywood couple playing a couple torn apart by death. The chemistry would have been built in. The marketing would have written itself. The tabloids would have gone crazy. But Willis read the script and didn't get it. "Hey, the guy's dead. How are you gonna have a romance?" he said. He passed. At the time, Willis was riding high off Die Hard's success.
Bruce Willis is a ghost. I'm shocked.
He was the action guy. A romantic ghost story? That wasn't his brand, so he said no, thinking he was making the smart career move. Years later, after Ghost became a phenomenon, Willis called himself a knucklehead for turning it down. Ghost went on to make $505 million worldwide, and Swayze got one of the most iconic roles of his career instead. Imagine Bruce Willis in that pottery scene. Yeah, different movie entirely. Sometimes the roles you pass on end up defining someone else's legacy. Director Jerry Zucker didn't want Swayze at all. After seeing him in Roadhouse, Zucker literally said Swayze would get the part over my dead body.
When I was brought up to Jerry Zucker, he said, "Over my dead body will Patrick Swayze do this role."
Why? Zucker saw Swayze as a tough guy, an action star throwing punches in bar fights, not a romantic lead who could make you cry, not the sensitive, vulnerable Sam Wheat the script needed. Harrison Ford, Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise, Michael J. Fox, Paul Hogan. Basically every leading man in Hollywood was considered first. The producers were looking for someone established, someone who could carry a $22 million budget. But screenwriter Bruce Joel Rubin had a different vision. He'd seen Swayze cry on Barbara Walters while talking about his late father. He saw something deeper than the Roadhouse persona. He saw real emotion, real vulnerability. Rubin insisted. He pushed. He told Zucker to give Swayze a chance. Swayze walked in and read the emotional final scene out loud. The one where Sam says goodbye to Molly, where he walks into the light. The room went silent. Everyone had tears in their eyes, even though they already knew how it ended. Even though they'd read the script a dozen times. Zucker knew instantly. Swayze was Sam.
I'm sitting beside her.
Number 18. Okay, this is wild. Whoopi Goldberg wasn't even on the director's radar for Oda Mae Brown. The role was written for someone else entirely. Tina Turner and Patti LaBelle both auditioned. The producers were looking for a certain energy, a certain sound.
$4 million.
Say yes.
But Swayze had seen Whoopi's one-woman Broadway show years earlier. He knew she could play a fraud psychic who's suddenly forced to confront real supernatural forces. Swayze didn't just suggest Whoopi, he fought for her. That's how confident he was. So they set up a test. They flew Swayze and Goldberg to Alabama so they could read lines together.
You don't think I'm giving this $4 million to a bunch of nuns?
Oda Mae.
It was undeniable. The banter, the tension, the comedic timing, it all clicked. Whoopi brought warmth and humor to Oda Mae, balancing out the film's heavier emotional moments. Whoopi got the part, and she went on to win the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. Swayze didn't just star in Ghost. He helped build the cast that made it legendary.
Give her the check.
And stick around. I'll reveal what Swayze said about the pottery scene. Number 17. Okay, listen to this. Those horrifying sounds the dark shadow demons make when they drag Willie and Carl to hell? Not synthesizers, not special effects equipment, not animal noises.
What's wrong, little Carl? How much tummy ache?
The sound designers wanted something that would get under your skin without you even knowing why. And they realized, baby cries tap into our most basic protective instincts. Humans are biologically hardwired to respond to a baby's cry. It's urgent, it's distressing. It demands immediate attention. So hearing those cries distorted, slowed down, and reversed? Absolutely terrifying. The sound team recorded actual crying babies, then manipulated the audio. They slowed it down, added reverb, mixed it with wind and low rumbling tones. Even as a kid watching Ghost, Those shadow demon scenes freaked people out. Now you know why. Your brain recognized something familiar twisted into something unnatural.
Set the place on fire, I swear to God.
It's one of the most disturbing sound design choices in 90s cinema. Number 16. You know the scene. Wet clay. Slow music. Hands everywhere. Unchained melody playing in the background. Sam and Molly lost in the moment. That instant when Swayze reaches over and the pot collapses? Not in the script. Not planned. Not rehearsed. Swayze reportedly decided to throw a curveball and deliberately knock the pot over during filming. He wanted to add spontaneity, to make the moment feel real and imperfect. Demi had no idea it was coming. When the pot fell, Demi didn't break character. The surprise, the intimacy, it all stayed. Director Jerry Zucker loved it so much he kept it in the final cut. That unplanned moment added authenticity. It showed two people so absorbed in each other that even a mistake doesn't matter. They're creating something together, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Number 15. Swayze later said the pottery scene wasn't about anything physical. It was about emotional connection between two people. It was the sweetest, sexiest thing I ever did on film, Swayze said in interviews. And there's no nudity. It's all about the hands, the eyes, the intimacy. It's about being present with someone. In fact, the scene was so effective, so charged with emotion, that Zucker cut an actual sex scene that was supposed to follow it. Who needs explicit when you've got clay and chemistry? The pottery scene became a masterclass in showing love without showing anything at all. Number 14. Here's something most people don't know. The character of Oda Mae wasn't created with Whoopi Goldberg in mind.
Julieta, Josefina, Linda, Maria, Cici.
In fact, she wasn't even written the way we know her.
I got work to do. Fine and stay there. Excuse me.
Screenwriter Bruce Joel Rubin originally wrote Oda Mae as an actual psychic, someone who genuinely had powers and could communicate with the dead. But during development, the producers had a better idea. What if she was a total fraud? What if Oda Mae spent her whole life pretending to talk to ghosts, scamming people for money? And then suddenly, for the first time, she actually hears a real ghost. That tension, that comedic potential, was too good to pass up.
You gotta go, say goodbye.
Well, gotta go now. It's been a pleasure doing business with you. A real pleasure. Now, may I keep...
That's when Swayze pushed for Whoopi. He'd seen her perform and knew she could bring both the comedy and the heart the role needed. She could play the con artist and the reluctant hero. She could make you laugh and make you care.
Molly, Sam says to tell you you're wearing the shirt that he spilled the margarita on and the earrings he gave you for Christmas.
It worked. Oda Mae became one of the most beloved characters in the film. The humor, the growth, the redemption. It all came from Whoopi's performance, and it earned her the Oscar. A character that wasn't even written for her became her most iconic role. Number 13. Demi took actual pottery lessons to prepare for her role as Molly. She wanted to look authentic on camera. She wanted her hands to move like someone who actually knew what they were doing. But here's the thing. No amount of training could make her a professional potter in a few weeks. Professional potters were on set to start the pots, getting the clay centered, shaping the initial form. Then Demi would step in to finish them on camera. The editing hid the transitions, making it look seamless. Demi later admitted, "I just didn't want my pot to wobble. That would have been a sure sign I was faking it." Even with training, movie magic did most of the work. And honestly, nobody cared. The scene was never really about the pottery. It was about the connection. The clay was just an excuse to get their hands touching. Number 12. Unchained Melody was already a classic when Ghost used it. The Righteous Brothers recorded their version in 1965, and it was originally written for a forgotten 1955 prison movie called Unchained.
Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch.
The song had been covered hundreds of times. It was a standard, a classic, but after 25 years, it had faded from the public consciousness. Then Ghost hit theaters in 1990, and everything changed. The song exploded back onto the charts. It hit number 19 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became one of the biggest selling singles in the UK that year, outselling Madonna, Elton John, and Sinead O'Connor. The song and the movie became inseparable. You can't hear Unchained Melody without thinking of that pottery wheel. Number 11. Before Ghost, Swayze was on his way to becoming an action star. He'd just done Roadhouse and Next of Kin. Tough guy roles with lots of fighting, lots of swagger, lots of shirtless scenes. Hollywood wanted to put him in a box. Action hero. The guy who kicks ass and looks good doing it. But Swayze didn't want that. He didn't want to spend his career playing variations of the same character. He said he took Ghost for his soul, to prove he could do emotional romantic roles and not just action, to show range, to challenge himself as an actor, and it worked. Ghost showed audiences a vulnerable, tender side of Swayze that they'd never seen before. He wasn't the tough guy anymore. He was the romantic lead who could break your heart. The role probably saved his career from being pigeonholed, and it made him a romantic icon, not just an action hero. Number 10. Ghost wasn't just a box office hit. It earned serious awards recognition, the kind most genre-blending films never get. It won 2 Academy Awards. Best Supporting Actress, Best Original Screenplay. It was also nominated for Best Picture, Best Original Score, Best Film Editing. For a supernatural rom-com thriller hybrid, that's incredibly rare. The Academy doesn't usually go for genre-blending films like this. But Ghost proved that a love story with ghosts and comedy could be just as powerful, just as meaningful as any traditional drama.
Go ahead, search. You'll never find it.
It was emotionally resonant, well-crafted, and culturally significant. Whoopi's win was especially historic. She became the first black woman to win an acting Oscar in nearly 50 years, since Hattie McDaniel in Gone with the Wind. Okay, if you think all of this is wild, wait until you hear what Swayze revealed about Ghost's core message at number 2. Number 9. Yeah, Ghost beat everything. Home Alone, Pretty Woman, Total Recall, Die Hard 2, Dances with Wolves. All of them. Final worldwide box office, $505 million on a $22 million budget. That's a 22 times return on investment. A massive, unexpected, culture-shifting hit. At the time of its release, it was the 3rd highest grossing film of all time, behind only E.T. and Star Wars. That's the company Ghost was keeping. Nobody expected it. Even Demi thought it might flop because the genre blend was so risky. Romance, comedy, supernatural thriller, drama all in one. Who was the audience? Would it be too weird? Too niche? Turns out everyone was the audience. Couples went on dates. Families went together. People rewatched it multiple times. It spent 19 consecutive weekends in the top 5 at the box office. Audiences loved it. They wanted something real and emotional, not just explosions and car chases. Ghost gave them tears, laughter, and a love story that felt eternal. Number 8. The story was so beloved it didn't just stay on screen. In 2011, Ghost was adapted into a stage musical that played in London's West End, then moved to Broadway in 2012. The musical featured new songs, choreographed the pottery scene, yes really, actors at a pottery wheel on stage, and used stage illusions to recreate the ghost effects. Sam walking through walls, the shadow demons, the final light scene, all done live with practical theater magic. It wasn't a massive commercial hit like the movie, but it proved how iconic the story had become. Iconic enough that audiences wanted to experience it in a completely new format.
How long have you been here?
Since they pushed me.
The fact that Ghost could work as a stage musical speaks to the strength of its story. Strip away the special effects, the cinematic tricks, and you still have a powerful tale of love and loss. Number 7. Yeah, Ghost was remade in Japan in 2010 with the roles flipped. The title, Ghost, I Want to Hold You Once More. In this version, a female ghost tries to reconnect with her male partner from beyond the veil. The pottery scene was recreated with the genders reversed. The emotional beats stayed the same: love, loss, redemption. It starred Nanako Matsushima, best known for the horror classic Ring, and Korean heartthrob song Sung Haeon. The casting of a Korean star in a Japanese production was notable at the time, reflecting the growing Korean wave in Asian cinema. The remake didn't achieve the same global success as the original. It grossed around $9.8 million compared to Ghost's $505 million. But it proved how universally the story resonated. Ghost wasn't just an American phenomenon. It was a story about love transcending death that worked across cultures, languages, and even gender dynamics. Number 6. Swayze's performance wasn't just acting. Some scenes brought up real, painful memories for him. In one scene, there's a dead body dummy on set representing Sam's corpse. When Swayze saw it, he was jolted back to the day of his father's funeral. The memory of seeing his father's body in the coffin came flooding back. He later said in a People magazine interview, "I had pushed that memory out of my life until that moment on the location when it all came back big time." That's why his emotional scenes feel so raw, so authentic. He wasn't just playing a character mourning loss. He was pulling from real pain, real grief, real experience with death. Director Jerry Zucker said Swayze's vulnerability, His willingness to tap into that pain made the film what it is. It gave Ghost emotional weight that went beyond the script. Acting isn't just pretending. Sometimes it's remembering, and Swayze gave everything. And speaking of emotional power, number 2 is the secret that explains why Ghost still has that stays with you forever feeling. Stick with me. Number 5. The final scene where Sam walks into the light wasn't just filmed with a camera pointed at a bright bulb. It required layered, innovative visual effects work. The visual effects team combined lighting techniques, digital compositing, and practical on-set effects to create that otherworldly glow. They wanted it to feel warm, inviting, and transcendent, not harsh or artificial. The light had to look like heaven, like peace, like home. They tested different color temperatures, different intensities, different angles. They layered the effects in post-production, adding subtle details that made the light feel alive. It was designed to feel timeless, not dated by the technology of the era, and it worked. Even 35 years later, that scene still looks beautiful. It doesn't feel like a 90s special effect. It feels eternal. Number 4. Even Demi wasn't convinced Ghost would work. It's a love story, and it's a guy, a dead guy, trying to save his wife, Demi said at a 2013 American Film Institute screening. There's a comedy part, but really, it's a love story. And I thought, wow, this is really a recipe for disaster. She saw the potential. She loved the script, but she also saw how easily it could fail, how easily audiences could reject the tonal shifts, the genre mashup, the supernatural elements mixed with grounded emotion. She thought it would either be something really special or a complete bust. There was no middle ground. Turns out it was something special. But even the people making it didn't know if audiences would embrace it. That's the risk of trying something new. Number 3. The Pottery scene has been spoofed in. The Naked Gun 2.5, Family Guy, Glee, 2.5 Men, Community, The Simpsons, Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. That's cultural impact. Few scenes in cinema history are parodied this much and still recognized instantly, decades later. The moment has transcended the film. It's become a shorthand for romance, for intimacy, for iconic movie moments. Every generation knows the Pottery scene, even if they've never seen Ghost. Number 2. And here's the one that hits deep. Swayze said, Ghost's message isn't just about dying. It's about living fully and saying how you feel while you still can. In a 1990 interview with People magazine, Swayze reflected on what Ghost meant to him. He said the film was about living your life for the moment because that is all you've got. If you don't communicate with the people you love, you set yourself up for incredible pain if you lose them. The love inside, you take it with you, Sam says at the end. That line, Swayze's favorite in the film, is the whole point. Ghost isn't a movie about ghosts. It's a movie about not waiting, not holding back, not leaving things unsaid. It's about telling the people you love that you love them. Not tomorrow, not next week, but now. That's why people still watch it. That's why it still makes people cry. That's why Ditto became one of the most quoted movie lines of the 90s. Because we all know someone we wish we'd said more to. We all have regrets. We all carry loss. Ghost reminds us, don't wait. Say it now. Love now. Live now. Nearly 2 decades before Swayze passed away from pancreatic cancer in 2009, he was already living that philosophy. And it makes his performance in Ghost even more powerful, knowing how deeply he believed in its message. Number 1. When Ghost premiered, some reviewers mocked it. They thought the genre mashup was too ambitious, too messy. Romance and comedy and supernatural thriller. They thought the tonal shifts would alienate viewers. But audiences? They loved it. They packed theaters. They cried. They laughed. Ghost proved that emotional storytelling wins. Sometimes the films that take the biggest risks are the ones that connect the deepest. Some movies are just entertainment. Ghost became something more. 35 years later, Ghost still hits. If you love this stuff, my next breakdown's waiting for you.